Hello everyone, this tutorial today is on walking your course, which you'll walk every weekend, and then basically what I feel should be what goes through your head before you go in to execute your plan of riding the course and hopefully getting that clear round that we're all wanting. So I've got a full course set up today, just like what you would probably find at the weekend, whatever your level is at, whether it gets a bit more complicated, a bit more technical or not. I've got a nice course set up, a couple of tricky lines, and then I'm just going to talk you through it and talk through what I think about before I go in, and also my course plan, and just to be prepared for riding the course. So this is going to be number one. So yeah, I'm going to come into the arena. I'm going to make sure I'm into a nice good rhythm, make sure I'm in tune with the horse, he's in front of the leg, all of that I've been practicing at home, that I'm ready for number one. Already 1, 2, 3, as we can see here, is already related distance. So then your rhythm is very, very important. Let's walk the first 2 lines and then we can just discuss it. So I talk in yards, some people talk in meters. There's no right or wrong, it's just how you've been taught throughout your life and what's relevant for you. I'm going to be talking in yards, but there'll be a chart on another tutorial showing you the difference between yards and meters. Yards is a bit of an old traditional measurement, but that's what I've been taught in, and I think a lot of people walk in yards, some in meters, but I'm going to try and accommodate for both with that. So okay, in yards, 2 for landing, 2 for takeoff, 4 for every stride. So at this height, 2 for landing, we should be landing around here. All right, 4 of our steps for every 1 of the horse's strides. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 2 for takeoff. So that's a perfect 5 actually, nice level 5. Let's walk the next distance as well, and then we just think about the whole line. So I'm going to land there, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, and then 2 for takeoff. So again, perfect 5, level 5 and 5. So rhythm's very important. You know, if we come too slow to number 1, the 5 stride is going to be long, then this 5 stride is going to be short. So rhythm is very, very important. So I want to make sure I come in the ring, get forward in the rhythm, and make sure I'm into my nice, good forward rhythm that's going to be easier for my first distance of 5. So start well, hopefully level 5. If you feel that it's a bit long, then this one's going to be short, obviously. But ideally, if we're in the correct rhythm, level 5. All right. So, walking round. Right, we're coming back on ourselves to 4AB, the double. So just think to myself, right, get nice and straight. There's a black oxer here, so I'm going to be turning about here. Think to myself, right, what could I envisage going wrong? You know, what could happen? He could see this fence and think he's going to that line. That can be off-putting. So make sure I've got enough bend, and make sure I'm very clear in my signals that I'm not presenting him at this fence, that he knows exactly where he's going. So use the school, get nice and straight, make sure he knows exactly where we're going. Always have, when I'm walking a course, always have my horse I'm riding in my head, because every horse is a bit different. Some horses have a little bit smaller step, some have a bigger step. So you've got to walk the course with your horse in mind. I'm going to be jumping Shelby around this. He's a normal striding horse, if you like. So makes walking the course for him quite easy. If you have a shorter striding horse, then you need to maybe start in a bit bigger rhythm. Again, if you've got a big stepping horse, a little bit slower rhythm for the 5 and 5, all depending on your horse, and you need to know your horse and walk the course according to that horse that you're riding. So nice and straight and double, 2 for landing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 2 for takeoff. So nice 2 strides, nice 2 strides. Okay, now we've got a little bit of time before our next line. But then now we're going to have 3 strides in a row on a distance again, 5, 6, 7. So make sure, think to myself, right, make sure I'm organised, make sure I'm on the right lead canter. This oxer's coming out the corner, pretty tight out the corner, so make sure I use my school here, make sure I'm straight, make sure I'm good in the rhythm and dead straight to the line. Okay, let's walk this line. Land there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. And then we've only got 1 stride for a takeoff when we should have 2 strides, 2 steps. So that is basically one yard short, 3 strides. So just have that in mind, right? Okay, 3 is going to be steady. Still have to jump the back bar, still a wide enough oxer. And make sure I jump that first and then sit tall, be prepared, think, right, you know that's going to be short, that 3 strides compared to everything else. It's 1 yard shorter. So think about it. Then land here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2.5 if you like. So half a yard long on 7. Think about it though, the 3 strides going to be short. Okay, so it's a bit short, so it might just be a little bit continue on the 7. But I've also got a curve, so I can cheat a little bit. It's not too much of an angle that I have to be dead straight. I can stay in the same rhythm, just slightly stay on the inside line so it's level 7. Again, if you have to shape it more, then it will be a little bit more continuous 7 because it's half a yard longer and the distance before it's short. So you don't expect to be landing too far over the blue vertical, if that makes sense. So we'll walk on. Always with your curves or your dog legs, walk middle to middle. Walk the line that you're going to ride. So I'm going to think to myself, right, need to use my school here, get my eye on this fence, make sure I'm straight, because after our wavy planks, we're coming to our black oxer straight line to our double. So we don't want to cut the corner here or it's going to make life difficult for us for the black fence. So always think ahead, think what's coming next as well. So I want to use the school here, want to get out, I want to get straight. I want to get straight to my wavy planks. Roll back off the right, make sure he's engaged, make sure I keep my rhythm round that corner. Nice distance on the plank. Right, now although this is a curve, I want to walk this. Just to, when it's such a curve, I might not completely stick to it, but I want to roughly know what this is before I decide once I've walked the line to the double as well. So we're going to walk this even though it's quite far. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 for takeoff, 1 and a bit, so it's 8.5. All right, so I'm going to walk this line first before I just decide what I'm going to do there, because I want to see what this walks first to the double. So I'll land there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 for takeoff, and then there's still another yard. So that's a long 4, and it's a double. Quite a wide oxer coming off a turn. So I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, that is, although it's only a yard long on 4, it's actually going to ride a little bit longer. It's probably going to ride 1.5 yards to 2 yards longer, because you're off a blind turn. The oxer's wide, so that means they land a little shorter, and then the distance is flat into a double. It's more difficult for the horse to jump that double on a flat distance with a vertical going in. But is it 5 strides? I'm not sure. The oxer's quite wide. I need to be sure about jumping that. I'd have to wait on the 5. So there's a bit of an option here. If I'm on a small striding horse, I think, okay, maybe it's a bit easier for that horse to keep his balance, keep everything correct by adding 1 stride here. Also, what's going through your head is the time allowed. Do I have time to fit in 1 more stride? At our level, most likely not, and they make you stay committed on that forward distance, and that's what creates the problems. So time allowed is always an issue for us. So I'm thinking, right, I want to go on 4 strides there. So what's the best plan? Right, that's 8.5 to the black oxer. Right, okay, if I jump the plank, stay on that line, but then just up the rhythm, then I'm on 8 strides to the oxer. It carries me into distance because I want that as level as I can on 4. I do not want it to be flat 4 strides. I want to be sitting balanced and have him waiting on that vertical in the 4 strides. So I think, right, okay, I want to jump the plank, middle to middle, up the canter, get on the 8 strides to the black, and then the 4 will ride so much easier then. It'll nearly be steady on the 4, all right? Again, if you want to go 5, you think, right, okay, maybe it's a better option to go 9 strides there. 9 strides, maybe still stay middle to middle, that it's a more balance in 9. You pop the oxer, but you have to jump the back bar first, sit tall, make sure you shorten them nice and early on the 5. Either or you can do, you know, it's possible to do both, but it's got to be what suits your horse and relative to jumping the clear, you know, inside the time allowed. So all these things are factors, and you have to make a plan. That's what walking the course is. Right, that's my plan. I'm going to go 8 strides, 4 strides. That's my plan. I'm going to try and stick to that. Okay, so normal 1 stride. Normal 1 stride. Okay, so after our double, that'll have taken a bit of effort. We've still got our last line to jump. Yellow vertical, curve to the right to our square oxer water tray. So let's walk the line first. And 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've only got 1 yard, so it's 1 yard short on 6 strides. So okay, and also at the end of the course, maybe Shelby's going to be a bit tired, maybe a bit more, he's more in the rhythm, so the stride will be slightly more than when we start. So all this, I think, right, okay, really it's just about 5.5 actually, you know, come to the end of the course. So what am I going to do? I think the 5's going to be too flat, square oxer, water tray. I want to get out and ride 6. So how do I make that easier for Shelby to jump? I'm going to overshoot the corner slightly and jump the yellow and just stay on my outside line, so that I'm not having to break the rhythm too much. I'm just changing the line. So instead of riding dead middle to middle, I think I'd get there too deep on the 6. I'm going to just overshoot it a little bit, just jump slightly onto the outside. Don't overdo it, or it could end up 7. But just think outside line 6. So I run over the course in my head, right, okay, right, start. 1, 2, 3, normal 5 and 5, but make sure I'm in my rhythm. If I'm not in my rhythm, it's going to end up long, you know, so make sure I'm in forward enough rhythm to start. 5 and 5 strides. Roll round, double, normal on 2 strides. Up and round, that walked a short 3 strides, and then 7 strides. So 7 walked, different to how I feel it'll ride. I feel that that'll be a level 7 strides if I ride middle to middle, slightly short in the 3 strides in the blue. So I think, right, short in the 3, middle to middle 7 to the blue. Roll round, plank, and I want to get up on the 8 strides. I don't want to cut the corner, because then I'm going to be on the angle, I'm going to be too deep, I could end up too deep, and he's not stayed straight on the double. So ride middle to middle, plank to the black, but up in my rhythm, so that I get the 8 strides. Jump to black, then the 4 will be normal. So because I've done it here, I've generated the bigger rhythm here, that 4 strides, although it walks long, I'm going to have made it up here that that's going to ride level 4. That's how I feel that that's going to be best to be ridden. And then for the last line, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be thinking, right, outside 6 strides. So that's my plan. 5 and 5, jump the double, steady on the 3, normal 7, roll round, plank, up on the rhythm for the 8 strides to the black, level 4 then, and then outside 6 to the last. So that's my plan. You get warmed up with your horse, make sure everything feels good in your warm-up, and then as I'm coming down into the ring, I'll be going over my plan. Right, 5, 1, 1 to 2, 5, 5 again to 3. Run over your whole plan of your course so it's crystal clear in your mind before you go. Sometimes plan A doesn't go to plan. If it doesn't go to plan, the worst thing you can do is panic about it. You know, if you start off on too smaller rhythm, and you pop number 1, and you've ended up going 6 to 2, it's not the end of the world. It's not, you know, you can still add a stride there, but you've got to think to yourself, right, what does that do to the next line? Okay, then it's going to be back forward again on the 5, be more forward than of jumping 5, 1 to 2. Again, if I don't get the plank just right and I have 9 there, I need to decide whether I'm doing 4 or 5. You know, you have to think quick on your feet in the ring. Plan A, that's the ideal plan. If it doesn't go to plan, you have to improvise and ride off your feeling at the time. And it's a hard thing to teach. You have to just feel what's going on and react to your feeling, you know. So, right, that's my best bit of advice. I'm going to get warmed up, I'm going to come in and I'm going to try and execute plan A. Our warm-up was good, so I've come into the ring and then right into canter. Now always I see loads of times when I'm teaching, I always say get into the ring and ride forward, you know, get up in your rhythm, you know, get going, you know. Even if you start on too big a rhythm, it's better than not enough, you know, that they're taking you. So let's try and execute our plan. Wait. Okay, so far so good. Try and get that forward 8. Jump the plank first. Body top. Too bad. Good. Okay, Shelby. Okay, so unfortunately we only get one attempt at it, or sometimes fortunately we only get one attempt. But you know, at the ring at the weekend you only get one chance to jump in that course and executing that plan, and if it's not went to plan, we quite often are going home disappointed, you know. But that's what makes the good days really good days in our sport. But even then, you think, sometimes I feel I've jumped clear rounds and been disappointed with my round. You know, I think, right, oh God, I ran too deep there and this was wrong, that was wrong. Sometimes I've went round the course and knocked down 2 jumps and been delighted with the round because I felt that everything was good, the rhythm, the straightness, the balance. So it's quite, I think even though you jump clear, you think, right, run over it myself, you know. Do I think, right, was that good? Did I execute my plan? Did plan A work? Yes. All my strides were right. Could a couple of things been better? Yes. Maybe I left him a little bit far off the black oxer to get the big jump in on the 4. Had a little touch on the back bar. It's okay at this height, but me and Shelby are jumping like bigger courses than this, so the margin for error becomes a lot less when the bigger the jumps are. So do I get away with that at 160? Probably not. You know, I probably had the back bar there. So I think, right, okay, that could have been better. Also, I feel myself, I'm slightly deep on the yellow oxer second from last. Okay, I waited for him to jump the jump. At least I didn't get ahead of him, but I've got the feeling that he twisted a little bit because I was too close and I didn't give him enough time to get his timing right in his jump. So those 2 places I feel could have been better. But I think my point is, you can be, like, I'm always very critical of myself. I always think, what could I have done better there to have helped them to jump a clear round? I honestly think something like 90% of pulls down or mistakes, there is something we could have done better, you know. Got to be sympathetic for our horse, you know. It's it's our job to educate them and to be in the correct rhythm, to not fall in on the left, not fall in on the right, keep them straight in their jump, have them balanced. There's so many aspects to it that we can improve to make their life easier to be able to jump the course clear. And so I think that's what we're always focusing on, always thriving to become better, and that's what we try to do. So hopefully, yeah, as a recap, hopefully someone's maybe filmed your round. I think it's really beneficial because you can go away, you can watch the round, think, right, okay, what was good, what was bad, what can we go and practice that at home? Can we go and build that left curve and we fell in on the left so we ran too deep, right, let's go and build it, practice it so we don't make that same mistake again. Did plan A work? Yes, if it did, then great, it was the correct plan. Okay, if it didn't work, you know, don't get too disheartened by it, don't get too upset, you know, don't get frustrated with your horse. They're all the wrong things to do. Think to yourself, right, what could I have done better to jump that clear, you know? And there's always something, you know. So, you know, as I said, a lot of the times we're driving home upset or disappointed or thinking, oh God, if I could only have done that better. But that's the beauty about our sport. There's always something to work on, always keeps us very grounded, this sport. And I think, you know, it makes the good days even better, those good days, you win when everything goes to plan. So yeah, I think just try and have that mindset when you're jumping at the weekend, and hopefully this can be useful to you.